I'm going to jump right into this. I don't like any religion, none. The people who are raised in going to church, doesn't matter what your belief is, I've never liked them. Now, am I an atheist? No, I'm not. I believe in a God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the knowledge that Buddha shared, which, by the way, Buddhism is not a religion. There's no doctrine. It was some guy that went within and studied inner perspective, Dharma, and what they teach is what your brain is, what emotions are, and bring you here and not in your mind. So I've attracted to that because it's helped me out big time in life. But it's just amazing what religious people do. What did Jesus do? I mean, I've never read the Bible. I've tried to, but I've heard every page my entire life from religious people. And I believe there's a story, and I'm sure you have it memorized because it makes you feel powerful. That didn't he rebel religions? Didn't he say, "I'm the way"? I mean, did you perceive that as Christian, Catholic, Jew? I mean, what I don't know. I mean, he stood alone between him and Source, right? He was rebelled and crucified. He broke up churches and their beliefs and their enslavement. And I'm just watching what's going on, right now between the Christians and the what are they called, the Muslims? They're radical. I mean, if you don't join their belief, they want you dead. The thing that the Christians have going on is they leave that up to God, and they actually believe that if you don't go the Christian way, that you're going to hell. Even if let's say you're an atheist and you just do nothing but good things and you're kind and polite to everybody, just because you didn't indoctrinate their belief, it's not good enough. I've always had a problem with this. I was raised by, my mom was a heavy Catholic. I mean, she went to Catholic school. And we never went to church. I've been to a church maybe 20 times in my entire life. That's it. And all I saw was an amazing amount of people that wear glasses and were all pale and very boring looking. That's kind of changed today. That background noise, they're doing construction or something, so hopefully it's not feeding into this. And you're not going to like it, and that's okay, because I don't like what you do. I'm watching it online. There's a religious war going on, and you're all pushing it. And I get a kick out of Christians, especially because most of you are serial Christians. You're not real. You talk it, but yet you cuss. I met your parents and your grandparents, and some of you, your great-great-grandparents. I did business with these people for 27 years. And you were filthy to them. And if they were alive today, the way you cuss, they'd tell you that's not the way. But somebody all of a sudden decided in the religions that, cussing's okay. God doesn't have a problem with that. It's tacky. I still do it. I'm not perfect. And look what's going on. Ever since, we had some pretty tragic things happen, and we have the visual for it for the most part. Charlie Kirk, we watched him die, and he intelligently tried to have dialogue with people about debates and just having a conversation. Nothing dangerous, but to some people, they believe through media enhancing it, their church, whatever it is, that he represents anything but freedom and tyranny and evil and unconstitutional. It's really weird because the left feel exactly the same way. And then the conservatives, especially the Christians, oh my God, you can't have a man dressed as a woman that has gone mentally crazy and thinks he wants to be a female go into public bathrooms. Well, that's kind of common sense. That's a door opening up for somebody who's acting like they are trans and they want to get a little perv action going on in the bathroom with your kids. It's wrong. Keep the kids out. They're oh my God, they're the innocents, and they came from somewhere. They're here. They exist, and they're these innocent, loving creatures that I remember. I had a brother-in-law, super born again Christian, and I tell you what, the more religious you are, the more you need your church, because I've watched many. I mean, what do they call them in the LDS? Jack Mormon. I mean, when they go bad, they go bad. Amish, same thing. I mean, tattoos, drugs, everything. They're just pissed at the church because it let them down, and they didn't back up what they were preaching. They disowned you and kicked you out. But I was watching my brother-in-law, my niece, young, and he was talking about we're all born into sin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So look at my daughter. She breaks things all the time. My stereo, she just broke my stereo. And I'm like, well, how's that a sin? That's a child who doesn't see value in that. It's not important. They don't know. What? They're not doing what you think. So it's your job to teach them the difference between don't break that and here's why. And then blatantly just saying, oh, another person born into sin. You give no hope. None. Zero. And look at the battle going on right now. You drew first blood, libs. You drew. Yeah, they're crazy. They're emotionally more volatile. They live more out of the left brain. And the conservatives live more out of the right brain. The difference is it's a hemispheric thing. We're supposed to actually find our core, the center. Everything is neutral ground. Everything. Not extreme one way or another. It's just, that makes sense to me. And it's just amazing how people don't realize their ego in their religion. And then they form a tribe of people that believe the same thing, and they beat their own drums or sing their hymns, and it makes them feel confident about the people around them all believe the same thing, never questioning their belief, never questioning it. And some things you say, oh, well, I'm not going to question the fact that they're indoctrinating our children with pornography in schools. I think most of us can agree with that. Not everybody. Everybody has a different belief. Progressive, they think it's more intelligent and evolution. Well, they are a part of it, whether you like it or not. The very fact that everything is happening technologically, whatever you just messing with people's DNA, Monsanto's, messing with our food, it's man is messing stuff up. Human beings are messing things up in the natural ecosystem that we were born into, this organic planet that provides everything for free, everything. And we've created a system, or they, the government, the superior ones, the elites, to keep us enslaved. I think we're all aware of that. We have a right to fight that. We should fight that, because if we don't fight it, they're just going to make our life worse and worse and worse based on their control. They're the true evil, not our differences in belief. Yeah, some of them believe in socialism, communism, because they're lacking culture. They see companies like Norway, Sweden, where it's just beautiful and people live financially more balanced, but they don't see how boring it is and how dead it is there, and how contrite it is. And I get a kick out of people from that area, Norwegians or whatever it is. I mean, they'll literally state to you that we don't have the same ego that Americans have. Well, isn't that egotistical? And they act that way. And then when Americans go to Europe, we're, not all, but most are considered obnoxious, loud, and crazy. That was said for a long time. Well, it's like, well, that's what freedom looks like. That's why you don't like it. Do you understand? Everything was programmed, especially in the first 7 years of your life. Everything was. You were like a laptop. You just bought a laptop and it's got the software in it, but there's nothing in it. And then all of a sudden you start downloading stuff and uploading, and then you have your DNA to deal with, your genetics, which is what's genetics? What's DNA? When it comes down to it, science says, and it's factual, it is frequency and vibrations. That's all it is. There's no such thing as a solid mass. It's just frequency and vibrations of history passed on. So you have that to fight on your own. You have your beliefs to fight on your own. This is crazy. Fight for peace. Well, that's contradicting, isn't it? So what's our real battle? What is it? Well, the government, the elites that are enslaving. People are waking up to it. We can fight that. But if people were intelligent and wise enough to understand that your difference is left or right, black or white, old or young, we all want the same thing, and that's peace, prosperity, happiness, and love. But you're not going to have any of it so long as you have these ideas of what it's supposed to be, right? You think that ISIS soldier who cut somebody's head off, evil, disgusting, unnecessary. That person didn't know any better. They actually believed they did that out of love. That's extreme for, people to go out of their way to enforce their belief on others, like people pissed off at Charlie Kirk, passing away. It was heavy. It was a changing time in this country. And then the girl just before that, which we seem to have forgotten a little quicker, the one that got stabbed in the neck on a train. And then the kids being shot up in a church. These are people no different than you. They really believe it. They're not doing it. Some of them are, but the ones that are doing just insane stuff like that have no coping skills. They're totally out of gear. They're in conflict, and they have no help. And through my lifetime, they didn't medicate people. They didn't have a diagnosis for it. There was no such thing as ADHD. There was no bipolar. There was, they just said you had a learning disability, something like that. And even the book Future Shock talked about how in the future they're going to make a pill for everything, to make you happy, to make you sad, to make you smart. And so that's another enslavement that we were caught up in. And what is it, 70% of Californians, I think that's what the figure is medicated. And everybody goes to a psychiatrist like it's just a monthly bill. Again and again for years and years, and they never actually fix anything because there's too much money wrapped up in psychiatry and the medical world, pharmaceuticals. That's the fight. I don't think Jesus, let's talk about Jesus, and I'm sure some of you will correct me because you're proficient in it, but yet you don't live it. Live as if you are. I mean, what's everybody's problem with life, especially churches pushing this? Since you were born, aren't you aware of that? This is a gift. What else do you actually know in this instant that actually exists? You've lost so much interest in the simplicity in the Garden of Eden behind me right now. That's just there for us. Nobody pays attention to that because they're on some kind of mission. And don't realize that maybe, just maybe, you are here to appreciate the heaven you're already in. I mean, how would you take over worlds? How would you become like Jesus? If you didn't really see the heaven that we exist in right now, this beautiful gift. Well, because I think innately, most of you understand that if you truly found peace and enlightenment in this present moment, culture would have a problem with it. They would have a problem with you standing sovereign between you and Source, and that's really what it comes down to where they would want to crucify you. That's really what it is. And everybody talks about heaven. It's really weird to me how religious people talk about heaven and do all the right things, and they look at the Bible like it's, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. I don't look at the Bible that way. I don't look at it like people do, like thou shalt not steal. I think the Bible is saying, and Jesus was saying, is when you reach enlightenment and peace and love inside, you won't want to steal. You won't want to sleep with your neighbor. You won't want to kill people. Thou shalt not kill. It's like, you won't want to. It's fascinating. Coyotes howling off in the background there. I've always had a problem with really religious people, yet I'm spiritual. Something's built inside of me to want love, peace, innocence. I'd like to return to my innocence. Can I return to my innocence, please? Doesn't seem like it's possible. There's a lot of tattooed up muscle alpha type male and females out there that they're just gunned up, man. They're ready to go. That's purpose to them. They find purpose in war. You're stupid. Yeah. Be the peace that you want, right? What are we supposed to do? The fucking left are going off the hook. Excuse my language. Well, that's not your problem, unless it's in your face and you have a choice to make. It's such an interesting topic. It's such a razor's edge. Everybody is in each other's business but their own. Minding your own business is a full-time job. The only battle we have is with these elites in this world today that are pushing this stuff, manipulating others. We're talking a staff of thousands and thousands of psychologist-type people that have done research and study and on the human condition and the human mind. They know stuff we have no idea. And they put a lot of time and resources and used our money to do this stuff to get us exactly where we're at today. These crazy lefts, and that's from my perspective, that are just losing it. They really believe what they're doing is out of love and freedom. Do you understand that? And I don't know if at this point if you can convince them otherwise, especially if you're preaching what the Bible says. They're disappointed. We're taught that everything's trying to kill us. Thanks God. If it isn't people, it's an animal in the wilderness. If it isn't that, it's an asteroid that's going to hit the earth. If it's not that, it's a tidal wave, or earthquake, a nuclear explosion, a super volcano. All these things that, God's out to get us. Where is he? Where is he? Well, aren't you supposed to be it? Gandhi had an epiphany and decided to walk up and get beat up without fighting back. Did it change people? It did. These police and soldiers and everything that have been over the last few years not following their oath, because they're more worried about their paycheck and taking care of their families, It's crazy. I avoid cities. I avoid this type of stuff. I do. I'm a recluse because I'm one of those people that if I'm driving down a street in a city and I see some woman getting beat up, I will jump out of the car regardless of fear or anything else. It's just I can't bear to see that. So what I do is I avoid it. That's what I do. I don't think I could better serve people as a warrior. I'm not in shape for it, and I'm not skilled at it, and I've been training my whole life for it like a lot of people are, and movies are pushing, and, this whole alpha thing, even females. Don't remember females being this aggressive. Yeah, we could say it's chemicals and vaccines and stuff like that, but women back in the 80s, they were these fragile things that drove really slow, and they were innocent and humble, and today they're manly, and it's evolution is what I'm saying. This is evolution. Whether we like it or not, technology, everything. It's all part of why we're alive, is to evolve into a better understanding, and that requires some battles. Personal battles, internal battles. I watch people suffer from depression and anxiety, and then they go to the doctor and they medicate them with about 30% of it's just sugar pills. It's placebo. I think everybody knows that's true. And then they'll take their medication for a certain period of time, and then it's not as effective, so they up their dose. No true help. nor does anybody have time to or an interest to find the solution within themselves. They're too busy excited about fighting a movie. I watched the shift back when Batman movie was out with Heath Ledger. That was one of the most powerful, influential movies in the world. The Joker, the villain, actually made sense. What he had to say was very intelligent, so it turned the bad guy into the good guy. And then people dyed their purple and blue and admired his freedom in that format. And there was Suicide Squad, which was a bunch of psycho killers, addicts, sick people. And there was the evolution of a more evil. So Hollywood turned bad people into the good guys, fighting something much more devastating and more evil. It's evolution. In my lifetime, the word anxiety was never used. It was, I'm just feeling down. It was depression. It was called depression. And then that wasn't powerful enough, so they changed the word to anxiety. I kid with people all the time. Like, when Lewis and Clark were traveling across the country and confronting serious problems like Native Americans and just the mountains and the landscape and everything they had to cross over, would they say what we say today? Hey, Lewis, oh my God, I'm just really depressed. I'm having a little anxiety today. It's okay. Let me make you a cafe latte, with some fat-free milk, almond milk, Yeah, I get it. It's okay. They didn't use these words. And so things get amplified. It's designed that way in this life. Once these things become less effective, somehow nature, this existence we're in, amplifies it. Okay, well, they figured this out, so let's turn the volume up. Do you remember the gas crisis in 2008? Started with the real estate market crashing. Too big to fail, 2007 and 2008. Once it hit over $4 a gallon, it destroyed businesses. The RV industry tanked. People are freaking out. Well, what is it now? We're used to it now. They turn the dial up, then they turn it down, then they turn it up. It's with everything. It's the spiritual essence of why we're here in this phenomena in the first place. And I believe our mission is to remain in heaven, remain peace, remain wisdom, remain experience. Understand your emotions, understand your thoughts, understand your mind. That you are not any of these things. You're the one that's observing these things. Remove the it's just me to the I am, which is the one watching it all before you decide to feel any emotion about it or make a reaction to it. There's a stillness inside all of us right now that's calm and still and impartial. It's just peace and free. And if you don't believe me, you can do a very simple exercise to discover it for a brief moment. And that's just stop thinking and look at a tree. Like, look at what's in front of you. I'm here. Weird. And just shut up. Don't think about it. Just shut up. Look at it. Sunset. Yeah, orange down there. Nothing's out to get me right now. I'm doing good. Most of the time. Is it just boring? That's why my channel's not popular. I don't have bad news for you. Oh my God. Oh, hey, you won't believe this. And nor do I have a female body where I can flash my boobs and my butt and, it's like, whatever. I've just pissed off religious people. Oh my God, how dare you? No. Look what you're doing. It's no different. You guys are ready to ammo up. The conservative, quiet ones. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching people burn down our cities and spit on people and the crazy Karens and the grown men going into our children's bathrooms and the pornography in the libraries and what they're teaching in schools and DEI and wokeness. And this big push that was designed by people like Soros. If you know anything about Soros, his history, You know, he was there when the Nazis took over his country. He joined them to save his own life. And then he saw the devastation of that much power, and his mission in life as a philanthropist, as he poses as. He really believes his mission, his purpose in life, to make billions of dollars to reach the point of destroying any country that gets too powerful for too long. That's his mission in life. And if you ever watch 2016, Obama's America, that was a well-stated prediction, because we're exactly where that movie talks about right now. You know, so religious people, in my experience, have always been, you know, what do they say? One of the requirements of being a Navy SEAL and having that ability to go to that extent is they require you to have some kind of faith strong. It's a requirement. Isn't that fascinating? You need to go to war for a cause that you're thoroughly convinced of is evil. Yeah, ISIS was evil. Terrorism is evil. But they believe what they're doing is good. They believe that their God says that that's what we need to do. And then some religions believe you're going to go up and have a bunch of virgins and scream. Hey, you know, it's okay. You can believe what you want, and I'll even listen to it. But if you're like believing that if I don't join your belief, that I need to be unalived, that's the word, then no, something wrong with you. And I'm just, you know, it's funny, I'm watching some of these YouTubers that are big, that are Christians, and, you know, that are preaching God and prayers and stuff, but they cuss like a sailor. I mean, it's like, it just trips me out that somehow that's okay now. I knew your parents, I did business with them, and your grandparents, and some of you, your great-grandparents. If they saw how you act being all Christian as you think you are, they'd put soap in your mouth. There's something to be said for that. Cussing is, you know, yeah, I do it. I'm not perfect. But it's vile. It is, when you really think about it. It's tacky. Everybody's tacky now. So, I'm the furthest thing from a prude you could ever meet. But I'm not having any fun with any of you, because you're all too busy looking at your phones and doing what you do. Nobody wants to sit around and have a conversation like this anymore. Maybe now I think a lot of people do, but they're worried that just one thing they're not going to agree on is, oh, that's it, we can't be friends. We can't. It's childish. We have de-evolved in the art of communicating and the beauty of our differences. Imagine if everybody was the same. Watch the movie THX 1138. Phenomenal old movie where everybody has bald hair, everybody's wearing a white outfit, everybody is exactly the same. Everybody takes a pill if they're not feeling happy. And it's all monitored and monitored. Really accurate movie. You know, it's like, no. If I go to Louisiana, whatever culture that is there, their barbecue is phenomenal. But Texas will tell you it's better. Or this country will tell you it's better. And it's like, well, let's discuss recipes. Really, the recipe of life. And why yours tastes better. I want to taste it. That's pretty different. That's good. I like it. I don't like it. Nah, it's too spicy for me. It's not tender enough. How do you do it? Well, we slow and low cook it in the South. You know, I think people are so bored, and the Industrial Revolution has collapsed. It's gone. So the normal job 9 to 5, have a house with a white picket fence and 2 kids and a dog and 2 cars. Mom stays home. That ended in the early 80s. You know, it's just evolution. It will never stay the same. There is a getting better in this. I don't know if you're going to witness it in your lifetime. I don't know if I will. But why don't you be the pioneer of peace? Too boring, too corny. You want to be a warrior. I want to be a legacy. Your name will be known. Wow. I don't care anymore. I felt that way for most of my life, and now it's like, you know what? I'm ready to be boring. And now that I'm starting to be willing to be boring, where I just bought a boring car. If you know anything about me, in the last 7 years, I've bought now 42 different cars, from G-Wagons to, new diesel Jeep to, just I get bored of it all. And now I bought a 2000 Tracker. And I love it. I have to roll the windows up. It looks great. It's boring. Fits right in. No attention. No status quo. No flexing. No 10 plus. I'm at that age where we just let things be the way they are. And the people older than me, a lot of them are passed away. They just reach a point where they don't want to talk anymore. Let you kids just duke it out and fight it out and destroy the world, whatever. I'm done. That's wisdom. The rest of you are just smart. I remember verse this and that. I remember this. I remember you're in this smart competition. And you know what? Wisdom won't come until you get your butt kicked or something happens in this hell that you tell me we're in, because God is just trying to throw asteroids at us. The apocalypse, the rapture, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Who's the guy in Waco, Texas? What's his name? I don't know. He told his flock all about the government's going to burn us down and, and kill. And, well, guess what? It came true for him, didn't it? His little apocalyptic experience. Proud of being crucified while doing pretty sick things within his organization, according to what we're told. Why can't we just be okay? Put your arms down. What's wrong with letting everybody else fight out the ignorance? The only battle we have is the government. That's the battle. And if you got the left and the rights and the Jews and the Christians all together to understand that, that was America was built on this freedom of religion, belief, speech, knowing the core of, I don't like your religion at all. I think you're freaking crazy. But so long as you're not forcing it on me, you can try to sell it to me. But decide to force it and then get into this religious war with each other. You killed 10 of my friends. Now I'm going to kill 20 of yours. You killed 20 of my friends. Now I'm going to kill 40 of yours and their families. And it's like everybody's mafia'd up. A mafia on behalf of God. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Meanwhile, these ferns were just a few inches high a month ago. Look at them. These stupid lights that I put on the sounding thing here. It creates a pleasant atmosphere. Good for you, Rob. Good for you. It's not why I'm saying it. There's no apocalypse in my surrounding. I'm seeing it on these flat little things we carry around. And if you're in everybody's business, I love this. Byron Katie is the one that said this. Worried about your kids that are moved out and how she's spending her money. Well, so now you're in her business. In the world, what's going on, the fires and the riots and everything. Well, now you're in God's business. And while you're in your kid's business and you're in God's business, who's in your business? I love it. Minding your own business is a full-time job. But Rob, if we don't fight the government and these people, the elites are going to slip in new laws and they're going to make us more... Well, no, you can fight that. Or just don't comply. You know what freedom is. It's built inside of you. Yeah, if you do it anyways, you're going to get thrown in jail. But if everybody just decided to be free, and not recklessly free, common sense, common decency, respect for each other, just the 10 Commandments are built inside of you. You didn't need a book to tell you this. What the book is excitingly telling you is when you find the real inner peace of who you are, the authenticity of who you are, you won't want to steal. You won't want to kill. You won't want to do all these things. That's if you can reach the understanding of Jesus. You know, who took the book and made it a power? The churches, you know. I come from a time in the 80s that your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, would have great conversations with them, hours. And they would say, no, son, it's two things we just don't talk about, and that's religion and politics. They just got out of World War II. They know exactly why we ended up there. So I guess we're going to just never learn from history, which some people, organizations, beliefs are trying to remove it all. It just goes on and on and on and on. And are you going to cycle out of it? Are you going to get off the ride? There's people that are going to need your peace after they've gone into reality of battle and death and despair. There's so many people out there that are willing to just start swinging. They don't even know their capability. They don't know what they're in front of. And they're going to hurt. And it's going to wake them up like, oh my God, I had no idea pain was this bad. I had no idea I wasn't capable. They will be humbled. And that's what everybody wants to do with each other. I'm going to humble you, knock you down a peg or two. This video is not going to really get anywhere. I'm at that age now. It's like, what's the point? But I'm going to just film this, not edit it, and upload it. And I'm going to do it right now.